Pablo Escobar was a simple farmer in Colombia. His wife was an elementary school teacher named Hermilda Caviria. On the 1st of December 1949, in the city of Rio Negro in Colombia, the couple brought the second of their 7 children into the world, a little boy they named Pablo. Pablo was born into a middle-class family in a community that was rife with the trade of marijuana and cocaine. Soon after his birth, Escobar's family moved to Envigado, a suburb of Medellin in Colombia. His life of crime began in 1966 while he was still a teenager. His early illegal activities are rumored to have started with him robbing places of business or stealing tombstones and sanding their inscriptions to resell them to the cartels. Though many believe that his first crime was most likely fraud, like selling fake diplomas or illegal cigarettes. Escobar briefly studied at the Universidad Autónoma Latinoamericana of Medellin, but left without graduating. Instead, he established a contact who would supply him with the copies of the keys to the cars that have just been sold, as well as the address of the buyer, so that he can go steal them back. While arrest records have been lost, Escobar was allegedly caught and had to spend time in Medellin prison for several months before his 20th birthday. When he got out, he and his cousins stole cars and dismantled them for their parts, even earning them enough to bribe the officials to launder their money. Escobar soon became involved in violent crime, employing criminals to kidnap the people who owed him money and demand ransoms, sometimes even killing the person after the ransom was paid to induce fear. His most famous victim was a businessman named Diego Echevarria, who was kidnapped and eventually killed in the summer of 1971, despite the fact that a $50,000 ransom was paid by his family. He began working for a man named Alvaro Prieto, trafficking drugs, but soon decided that working for someone else was limiting his potential. He drove to Ecuador, where he purchased 5 kilograms of cocaine paste, and swiftly returned to Medellin, where he would contact the Ochoa brothers to set up a sale with a cocaine chief named Fabio Restrepo. Everything went smoothly and Pablo walked away almost $100,000 richer. Mysteriously, only a few months later, Fabio Restrepo passed away. Seizing the opportunity, Escobar promptly takes over his business. Though it was never proven or confirmed, many believe that he was assassinated on Pablo's orders. Escobar's rise to the top of the cocaine trade also caught the attention of Colombian Security Service, who arrested him in May of 1976 on his return from drug trafficking in Ecuador. DIS agents found 39 kilograms of cocaine in the spare tire of his car. Escobar allegedly tried to bribe the judge, but in failing to do that, he hired the judge's brother, who worked as a lawyer, to represent him. The judge was recused due to conflict of interest, and a new judge had to be brought in. He, however, gladly took the bribe and saw Pablo and his accomplices out the door. The following year, the agent who arrested Escobar was assassinated. He had amassed such unimaginable wealth that he had fields leveled so that he and his associates can play soccer, even hiring referees to announce the games like they were official. In the years that followed, Pablo Escobar became a household name. Aware of this, he tried to maintain the public appearance that he was a freedom fighter and a kind of Robin Hood. In the late 1970s, Escobar allegedly spent millions of dollars on a housing project called Barrio Pablo Escobar, where houses were built and given to those less fortunate. This, along with many of his other charitable activities, saw him become one of the most loved men in Medellin. Pablo decided that with his fortune and influence in the community, the next logical step for him to take is to pursue a career in politics, and in 1978, he was elected substitute city councilor. In 1980, he gave financial support to the formation of a new liberal party, and in 1982, he ran and was elected to Congress, and with it came the bonus of judicial immunity, meaning that he cannot be convicted of any crime under Colombian law. In Congress, the new Minister of Justice, Rodrigo Lara, had accused Escobar of criminal activity from the very first day of Congress. Escobar's arrest in 1976 was investigated by Lara's subordinates, and a few months later, Escobar was expelled from the Liberal Party. Although Escobar fought back, he announced his retirement from politics in January of 1984. 3 months later, Lara was shot 7 times while riding in his limousine. Though he definitely made enemies along the way, these events saw the people of Colombia turn against him. He decided to flee to Panama, but despite being on good terms before, he and his associates were not welcome anymore. Escobar, desperate to get back home, decides to draft a proposal whereby he agrees to use his influence to rid Colombia of cocaine trafficking, and in return, he gets to keep his possessions in Medellin and can't be extradited back to the USA, where he also had drug trafficking charges. However, this proposal was denied. When the Panamanian military raided one of the labs that he had set up on the Colombian border, he fled Panama and went to Nicaragua. While there, he was informed that his father had been kidnapped. Chaos ensued at the snap of his finger as he ordered that all suspected kidnappers be executed. Allegedly, the kidnappers returned his father without any ransom ever being paid. Getting tired of constantly being on the run, Pablo decided to strike a deal with the Colombian government. He would stop all illegal activity and hand himself over. In exchange, he gets to choose the prison. They agreed, and Pablo was held in a luxury prison that he had built himself, called La Catedral. Rumors started to circulate that Pablo was engaging in illegal activity from inside the prison, and it was decided that he would be transferred to a more secure facility. Pablo caught wind of their plans, and once again he managed to escape before he could be transferred. He spent his remaining days on the run in the woods, allegedly burning his own money to keep himself warm at night. On the 2nd of December in 1993, the day after his birthday, members of the Colombian search block team tracked Escobar down to a house in Medellin. The door was broken down, at which point Pablo and his bodyguard both rushed for the roof. Members of the search block team opened fire, and Pablo was shot several times in the leg, the torso, and in the head. Upon confirming his death, the leader of the operation allegedly spoke excitedly into his radio, saying, "Viva la Colombia, we just killed Pablo Escobar." Until next time.